Whether you've heard of an indigo soul or not, more than likely, there's probably some type of meaningful coincidence as to why you clicked on this video. So if I were you, I would stay tuned. Hello to my amazing growing community of spiritual seekers. And if we don't know each other yet, my name's Yelena. Welcome to my channel. I'm super excited to have you here. Make sure you tap that subscribe button below for lots of spiritual, astrological content coming your way. Today we're going to be talking all about the indigo soul. So if you are maybe on your own spiritual journey, spiritual seeker, going through a spiritual awakening, or maybe you're just interested when you heard the name indigo soul. And like I said, there's probably a reason why that drew you in a little bit, because even just hearing that term may resonate with you. So this term came from the entrance of the New Age movement, which occurred in the late 1960s. And I'll get into that a little bit later when we get more into the history of why this is even a thing in the first place. But as of now, it's kind of recognized by mainstream science, or whatever you want to call it, as a pseudoscience, similar to other forms of divination like tarot or astrology, which tend to almost discredit it. But when you know, you just know. And I can totally understand why people might be skeptical. If you don't resonate with what I'm about to tell you, then you would be skeptical. But if you know, you just know. So first, I want to start with a little bit of information. Now, we all probably know that in this karmic material realm that we live in, we have what's called free will, which is our ongoing ability to make decisions in every single moment, which will lead to some type of outcome, right? Which would be like our karmic destiny, if you will. Now, there are what is said our team of light, which are whatever they are, our ancestors, our guides, different spirits that are in different realms and different planets, different dimensions, if you will, whatever you want, however you want to look at it, I guess. And they are not able to interfere with us down here in this earthly plane, this earth school that we're living in, unless, of course, there was some type of free will decision that was made that would affect the entire universe in a negative way. So with that said, back in 1945, when the first atomic bomb, hydrogen bomb, was released during World War II, this actually sent a major detrimental ripple effect throughout the entire universe and beyond. And at that time was when a call was sent, a call for help, and intervention began. Now, how do I know this information? You might think it's a little bit crazy, maybe a little bit far-fetched. I can understand where you would think that, but it comes from a number of different resources. A lot of these resources are channeled and gotten in very, very interesting, multidimensional types of ways, one of which I will explain. If you've never heard of Dolores Cannon, I definitely highly recommend checking out her books, especially the one that I'm going to mention in this book is called The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth. And I'll pop that up on the screen just in case you are interested in reading it. But these are in like conversational type of format because she created what's called QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique, where she actually used hypnosis to regress people into their past lives. Well, in doing so, she would tap into crazy information by connecting with things through people's psyche, I guess you would call it. And she got a lot of information and a lot of prophecies on what's to come in the future. So in doing so, she was receiving this information that there are these volunteer souls that have come to this earth and this cry for help. So it was a cry for help to evolved souls, evolved old beings that were to come here to help humanity to evolve, to move forward in their spiritual progression. So with all of that said, these souls decided to come here to stand in their power, to change things up, to do things differently, to walk in a different direction from that of humanity and kind of step aside from the status quo. And that's what it is. We are the Indigos. So if you're with me, raise your hand because I know for damn sure that I am one of them. Indigos have a deep knowing that we are all one, and that we all emanate from the same source, that we're all connected, and that is a very important part of our existence. Now, it may take a little bit of time for each indigo to remember this as they progress along their life on this earthly plane, because from the moment that we are born into this earthly incarnation, then starts the programming, the indoctrination. And it's all starts with our families, because we are born in and we are taught specific behaviors that cloud our individuality. Then we move on into the school system and then into religions and yada, 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 so forth and so forth. We become just part of this realm of coming to be and passing away, of duality and separation, chaos, turmoil, suffering. And we forget our true divine expression. So with that, we must learn as we evolve and grow older to break free. And that's when usually an awakening of some sort will happen, where we regain our individuality, we step aside from our programming that we accumulated growing up, and we regain our sense of creativity. We become creators with source once again, and we walk alone. And it doesn't always have to mean alone, because in a sense, we will have loved ones surrounding us, and ultimately we are all connected in being these light warriors. We all play a very specific role in humanity here. It's part of the progress of humankind. It's part of our dharma. Indigos know specifically, they have a knowing that what's wrong with humanity is our lack of spiritual evolution, of emotional maturity. That at this time, in this era, this age that we're in, darkness prevails. Well, it doesn't prevail for long, my friends, and that is what we are here for. Once on their path, indigos are strong, they're fearless, they're empowered, and they're powerful. But they use their power in a different way. They use their power to lift humanity up out of this darkness that we speak of. We know that something's not right, but you know what? We are here to change it. Even if we might be the black sheep, the odd man out, different than the norm, we are here to make a difference. All right, so do you have to have like some crazy purple aura or psychic powers or an open third eye to be an indigo? No, absolutely not. There are different types of indigos, and each one of us plays in a very important role in this beautiful puzzle that we call life. So if you haven't quite yet figured out how to levitate, it's okay. You can still watch this video. Just remember, you guys, that we are not just human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings at heart, at soul, having this temporary human experience in this realm. All right, enough of that. On to the 4 types of indigo souls. So in the 1960s, there was a lady named Nancy Tapp, and she had what's called synesthesia, which was a very rare condition which allowed her to actually see an auric field, which is a light field that surrounds the astral body of our physical form, because there are multiple layers outside of our physical body that are not visible to the normal human eye. Hi everybody, just one thing really quick. I just wanted to remind you or let you know that I'm now offering one-on-one coaching sessions for empaths and energy sensitives who are on the spiritual path, who want to heal from the past, gain back their power, open up their spiritual gifts, and create the life that they desire to create. If this sounds like you, if any of this information resonates and you enjoy my channel and you're interested in working with me, you can book your free 45-minute discovery session by looking for the link in the description box below. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, back to the content. So at first, she didn't realize what this was, but after many years and realized that it was a gift, she began to study it deeply and helped a lot of people and humankind. But what she said was that in the 60s, when the onset of this New Age movement came on, and a lot of this information became available, she began to notice with the babies being born that there was this new, extremely bright, vivid, piercing purple color that she had never seen before, also known as indigo, in the baby's auras. And she unfortunately passed away around 2012, which at that time she said almost 95% of the babies born by 2012 had this purple aura as well, this indigo aura. So it was becoming more and more common, flooding the world, which brought in this brand new transformational type of energy. Through all of her amazing studies with this, she had determined that there were about 4 different types of this indigo archetype, of this indigo type of soul that was coming in on the planet. And I'm super excited to share this with you guys, but you may notice, just a side note, that you exhibit more than one type of these indigo qualities. I think I actually resonate with 3 of them. One more so than the others, but 3 total. So just keep an eye out, make sure you watch all 4. And here we go. We're gonna start with number 1, the humanist. Similar to that of like the humanitarian. These are big, bold personalities, people that really love to communicate. We would refer to them as the social butterfly. They are at their best and thriving when connecting with other people. They are the extroverts and have a very vast social circle. They love social media. They probably have a really big following and may also be known as the influencers. Their personalities are absolutely contagious, and they just seem to have this knack almost for bringing people together, for making these types of connections. This could include teachers or positive, game-changing politicians, maybe doctors, lawyers. Think people who work with the masses. They're very easy to relate to talk to. They're very talkative, extremely friendly. The healers of human relations. All right, so now we're gonna move on to number 2, which is the artist. The artist is born with these amazing abilities to create things and their desire to share their creations with the rest of the world. So their creations, they emanate this certain energy, which actually is life-changing to certain people. I mean, we've all had our favorite songs that have changed our lives. Well, that came from an artist, an indigo artist, more likely than not. These are your musicians, your designers, your writers, your poets, your dancers, your actors. And even in our modern world today, anyone who is a content creator of any sort, you are an artist. These people are very in tune with their emotions, their inner depths, and their feelings, and they use all of this to channel and create these amazing things. Their purpose here is to help humanity open their hearts and realize that really our deep feelings and our emotions are a major gift. It's our life compass, if you will. It helps us to connect with our intuition, and they're here to rid this rigidness in humanity, this closed offness that keeps us all disconnected. On to the next type of indigo soul. It's number 3, the conceptualist. These indigos are very different from the 2 we just expressed. They like to be more introverted, quiet, calm. They need peaceful environments which are conducive to all of the many projects that they have going on. They prefer to be the behind the scenes types of people, not really having too much connection with their other indigo family members, but they like to be the ones doing all the work behind the scenes. These are your engineers, your architects, your coders, your problem solvers, even people like astronauts, scientists, I would say even astrologers, because a lot of time we spend in solitude. We need time to think and contemplate on higher ideals in life. These individuals have lots of different projects going on at once that are extremely important to them and extremely important to humanity in some way, shape, or form. So their relationships with other people tend to kind of fall to the wayside, which is completely fine because this is kind of what they prefer anyways. Okay, moving on to number 4. This is the catalyst, which could be also known as the interdimensional. These people tend to feel very alienated, maybe not of this world. They have always felt like they just do not fit into any group that they've tried to fit into, or just humanity in general. You might even feel like you don't belong here, like you incarnated on the wrong planet, but you have a very strong ability to make people question themselves, make people question reality, even prompt a major shift in their lives or big behavioral changes, belief systems, paradigm shifts. You trigger change. You challenge the status quo without even really trying to, by just being exactly who you are. So this might be something that's unconscious to you until you hear information like this. You play a very specific role here by just being in your authenticity. You are supposed to be different. You're supposed to stand in your uniqueness. These people may tend to have psychic abilities or different abilities to channel divine intelligence through their body to spread messages to humanity. These individuals may also have a strong desire to do things like divination, tarot cards, astrology, different things like that. They find solace and comfort in all spiritual and occult topics. But they are here to create change. They are the catalysts of change by not even realizing that they're doing it. Well, there you have it. There's your 4 types of indigo souls. And I hope you guys found this really interesting, because I know I sure did when I first found out. And I would love to know what type of indigo soul you are in the comments below. I'm gonna actually share as well what I am, which ones I resonate with most. And I would love to hear the same from you guys. But if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to tap that like button below. As always, share with your friends, leave me a comment, subscribe if you're interested in all of this type of content. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this growing community. Peace and namaste.